Hey there, comic book fans. Back with yesterday's comics from the trip to the comic shop. I just took them out of their bag. So it's like I got home yesterday, put them on my drawing table, and haven't even looked at them till right now. But pretty big week. Got 9 comics. 8 off my pull list. 1 I pulled off the shelf. But first, let's start out with my top of the printer museum issues that I had. We've got Astonishing Tales number 33, a Deathlock the Demolisher cover by Rich Buckler and Klaus Janson. Pretty interesting. This has always been one of my favorite series from my childhood. I still enjoy this one a lot. I think it's a very, very, very good series. The only Deathlock that really does it for me is this original series, and there's a cover I don't see very much. I forgot it existed. I got a lot of these covers burned into my head, but this one, no. And this is Eclipse Monthly. What number is this? Number 7. And it's by Marshall Rogers. Kind of a weird, awkward pose. This is like a pose that's trying to be sexy, but isn't really. I don't know. I find this cover a little odd, but I had it out all week just for the heck. I'm going to have to go back and reread these Eclipse Monthlies. There was an anthology from Eclipse way back in the 80s, and I don't think I've read it since the 80s. But it's got some nice covers and some good people working in it, so that's some good stuff. Let's see, what else do I have here? I picked up Outer Spaceman number 1. And I'm not 100% sure what this is. I must have put it on my pull list for some reason. Fabian Nicieza and Chris Batista are doing it. And I don't know if this was because my comic shop put it in a bag and put their own UPC on it. So it could be like originally a Kickstarter book that then got distributed to the comic shop. Because on the back here it says... whatever this ad is for Aftermath Islands, it says copyright 2021 down there. And I think the Outer Spacemen were like a series of toys from the 60s. Not 100% sure on that, but I think so. I never had any of them. They were a little before my time, but I knew some people who did. That's the only reason I recognized them. But yeah, we'll give it a read. The Outer Spaceman. Let's see. The latest Cerebus in Hell. I wish someone had told me that we don't need no stinking costumes. Wild pigs. Porky inbred gut sacks. And this is number 665 of 1165. Only 1,165 copies of this were printed, so that's not a lot. And I find Cerebus in Hell wildly uneven. Like, I think 2 issues ago, I really liked it. Last issue was nearly unreadable. I don't know. Dave Sims just nutty. It's these comics, these cut and paste comic strips that he does, because he can't draw anymore because he's got an injury in his wrist. But, I'm still buying it. Sometimes I wonder why. I think I'm buying it just to let you guys know what's going on with it. Free the Figgy Bumps. Here's Ice Cream Man. Issue number 37 Ice Cream Man is up to. I only started it, I think, in the late teens. That's when I started buying it finally. I read the first trade, and because I'd always heard good things about it and always meant to pick it up, but it took me like a year and a half to finally pick it up. And I put it on my pull list. And each story is a different each issue is a different disturbing horror story. There we go. Nice establishing shot of just a general suburban house. W. Maxwell Prince is the writer, with Martine Morazzo is the artist. Colors by Chris O'Halloran. Lettering by good old Neon. I always enjoy this book. It's good stuff, and a lot of it can get experimental on you. So occasionally an experiment fails, but their batting average is really good. And then we've got not one, but 2 Radiant Blacks. I guess these are both. It's the part 2 and part 3. I don't, because at the end of last issue they had like a branching off point where there were 2 characters who have been Radiant Black for the first, how many issues did I just say? Radiant Black number 20 for the first 25 issues, and they had to decide which one of them was going to be the permanent sort of solo Radiant Black. And there were 2 issues. There once again issue. These are 26A and 26.5. And like I said, in last issue, there were 2 issue 25s with 2 different endings. One with the one guy being Radiant Black and the other with the other guy being Radiant Black. So how are they going to tie this all together? I do not know. But we get 2 issues of Radiant Black in part 2 and part 3 of this story. 26 and 26.5. Well, I guess I know what order to read them in at least. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. This is the same. One is drawn by 2 different artists. Costa here is the regular artist. What's his name? Marcelo Costa. Written by Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark. Colorist Ron Fernandez. Letterer Becca Carey. Let's see who does this. I wonder if the same letterer and colorist. And this one, the artist is Eduardo Ferragato, colorist Raul Angulo, and letterist Becca Carey. So we got different artists on each one. One for each character, I guess. Then what's here? Where's the furthest place from here? Issue number 15. Boss and Rosenberg and Asami Alahu. This series is like the main direction of this series. I have no idea how it's going. It's a world where there are no adults and there are only kids, and they're broken up into like these kid gangs with different themes to the gangs. And I like each individual issue, but I have no idea what's going on with the overall story. Like last issue was about this woman being captured and almost eaten by cannibals and escaping. And like I said, but what it has to do, whatever's going on in the overall story in this world, I have no idea. But like I said, each individual issue is fine. And I like the artwork. And it's generally good. But I don't know whether to recommend this anymore or not. Because you really have to be okay with a completely foggy picture of the overall plot. Let's see, what else do we have here? We've got Spawn, issue number 346. Wow, I've got a lot of issues of Spawn in a row now. I think I started at like 305 or something like that. So I have at least 40 issues of Spawn in a row. And it's still only $2.99. I just saw some announcement that they're coming out with 10 more books in the Spawn universe. I was like, whoa, I'm okay with 1 book in the Spawn universe. Rory McConville is the writer, with Todd McFarlane doing additional plot script, whatever that means. Carlos Barberi is the art. John David Ramos is the colors. Tom Orzechowski is the lettering. And it's just a giant superhero Spawn war going on with all these different factions. A faction of angels, a faction of demons, 2 or 3 factions of demons, all fighting over hell or something like that, with Spawn in the middle trying to keep things from overflowing. Page punchers, what are they? I am not sure what a page puncher is. McFarlane Toys. You got me. But I enjoy Spawn. It's a fun superhero book. What else we have? 7 Years in Darkness. This is Joseph Schmalke's 7 Years in Darkness. Nice feel to that cover. It's one of these matte covers, not a glossy one. So it's got a good feel to it. And this is the one that's about a wizard school that opens like every 150 years, and certain families send their kids to this wizard school. Well, I think it was like only 150 kids show up and only 7 of them can survive it. And then the wizard school doesn't open up again until all 7 of those people who graduate are dead. That's why it takes so long for it to open up again. and all these, the families who send kids are all part of some secret wizard school society. But it's well done. I like this guy's stuff, Joseph Smalky. He's a pretty good writer and artist. So I think I discovered his stuff. One of the guys at the comic shop recommended it to me with some like toy space stuff that were, some space comics based on toys that were pretty good last year. So this is the first ongoing series I've seen from him. I think those were one shots that I read before, but really enjoyed. Who's publishing? CEX? Oh yeah, that's Andy Schmidt's company, I think. Andy Schmidt, president and publisher. He was an editor at Marvel back in my day. But good stuff. Then we've got, this is the last one is the one I picked up off the shelf, and it's Wonderland Out of Time Annual. One of these Zenescope comics, hot flips, comic book art supplies, that always have pretty women on the cover. And I've just never bought one before. I always notice the covers because there's pretty women on them. Who is this? Is this, I don't think it's Adam Hughes-ish, but I don't think that's Adam Hughes. Where's our cover? Writer, artwork, page, colors, letters, editors. Oh, David Wall is one of the editors there. He was an editor at Marvel back in the early 90s when I first started. I don't see any cover credits. Oh, there we go. No, that's Jeff Spokes did that cover. It's got an Adam Hughes-ish style, whoever Jeff Spokes might be. But I liked the cover, and I was like, you know what, why don't I think it was $8. It was funny because I was $8. I was looking, over the stand because I had my 8 comics from my pull list. And then I was looking at the stands to see what else to get, and there was actually a new facsimile edition from DC. It was All Star Comics, something like, I forget who it was, something before, but that was $8. I was like, do I really want an $8 facsimile edition? Then I found this, and I'm like, you know what? I'll spend my $8 on whatever this is. It's some sort of fairy tale land stories. I think that's what, because it says in the beginning here something about Grim Universe created by Joe Bruscia and Ralph Tedesco, who I guess came up with the idea, hey, let's take these fairy tales and make them into their own universe. So, like I said, just finally going to read one of these Zenescope comics. I've been seeing them. My comic shop usually gets them in. There must be someone at my local comic shop who buys them. Otherwise, they would be getting them in because I see them all the time at my local comic shop. So we'll see those. All right. Let me show you a little bit of work I did this week. Ooh, we got a Dreams of Things issue number 209 cover. One giant face staring at us with his or her, I don't know, is that a mask? Is that a face? It's a patchwork face down the bottom and a green face up top. I like the way this one came out, though. It's sufficiently weird with a nice multicolored sweater or something, purple hair hanging down. I gotta say, overall, I like the way that face came out. I don't quite know what it is, but I like it. Alrighty, there was some comic. Oh, I forgot to show you one last book. How did I almost forget that? I picked this up off of eBay, Habibi. It's a Craig Thompson one. A lot of pages. And this is one of the reasons I only Craig Thompson's Ginseng Roots, which I picked up the last issue of last week, which I think I only found it with issue 10. But one of the reasons I'm always like, because I was looking, like, should I get the other issues of Ginseng Roots? And I'm like, I know they're going to be putting it out in a collected edition, and this collected, I pay, like, for Ginseng Roots, it was like $6 an issue. I think I got issue 10, 11, and 12. $6 an issue, and the last issue was $9. There's $21 on 3 issues. $12 shipped. $12 used off of eBay. So it's kind of like, do I really want to spend $70 on the individual issues when you can just wait and get this for That's the conundrum of collecting comics. Do you just wait and get the hardcover that everybody else subsidized, or do you want to read the issues? But there's the eternal question of buying comic books every week. Anyway, there's your art, there's your comic books, and you guys have a good week out there.